responded to the early jungle invade from Inspired extremely well. He gained a 2 or 3 camp advantage early. He then snowballed that into a 30 or 40 CS lead. Yep. I'd also say eXyu's team played very well to not let Inspired get many picks. And then most importantly, the last team fight, eXyu goes for a Zinsec onto Saint, kind of gets it. It's what starts the fight, and then just mauls Berserker's 3.5 item Yunara as the 3 item Zin towards the end of the fight. So he played with so much confidence, and that's really hard to do after how abysmal his week 1 was. So if you're gonna cut him down for his bad week 1, you have to build him up for this big game 1 of week 2.
Just out jungling Inspired in the early game, having these high impact plays as well. Let's see if we can do it again, because now it's time for game number 2. It's Neeko early lock-in for Dignitas, and Ryze plus Vi locked in for LYON. So Inspired's going for the classic point-and-click hard engage jungler. And all right, we're getting the Anivia matchup of classic counter into the Ryze. We've seen this a lot.
Yep, Inspired's gonna wanna play heavy towards side lanes with the Vi. The Ryze plays very well into that. It's a massive power pick. I think Saint's really good at it, but we'll see how much Palafox can control this, because he's now, with 3-game sample size, played very well against Saint so far in 2026. Yep. Did really well in the Orianna Azir matchup there in game 1, and now, almost certainly, we're not seeing that Anivia fly top lane.
No, almost 0% chance.
Wonder is not here.
No, I thank you for bringing it up. I was gonna reference, because you mentioned the side laning of Ryze. If you watch LEC and you watch SK games, not always advised.
Bro.
But if you watch Wonder, he kind of plays Anivia like a split pusher. So you know, there's an argument. Palafox can answer that in the side. Your wave clear is just crazy. It's almost impossible to dive you with your egg form as well. So you can just kind of hold that lane. Jayce now locked in for LYON. So when I see Jayce plus Ryze plus Vi, I'm thinking this is more of like that 1-3-1 type of composition already they're building.
Definitely feels like it. And Dhokla is actually a historically big Jayce player. He really loves playing it, even though he hasn't been able to play it that much in recent years. You brought up SK, so I apologize. You have to be such a sicko if you watch SK games and then you're also watching Dignitas versus LYON. So there's so few people that can get this.
Jatt. I'm gonna take the positive.
Get this reference, but like, I was watching SK today, man, and they just. I'm sad we don't have an SK type team in LCS.
Yeah. 1,
because it inflates everyone else's records.
Sure.
They lose all the time. But 2, like, they are so close to cracking the code. Like today, they played Seraphine Nautilus bot.
I got him on a tangent.
Into Karma Ezreal. And this reinforces a meta point as to why the meta is stuck with AD junglers. Because, or even mage bot lanes, because we see these bot lane pairs. This is going to become a real point.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
We're kind of stuck in this meta of everyone playing, we'll do Seraphine Ashe, or we'll do Karma Ezreal, or we'll do Yunara Lulu, or we'll do Corki Nami.
The pairings.
They're just these enchanter AD carry pairings. And one of the most powerful pairings is Karma Ezreal. Honestly, Nautilus Seraphine crushed it in lane. Totally dominated. But the rest of the comp can't make sense if you have a mage bot lane, because it's so impossible to have an AD mid nowadays.
Yeah.
They
just do no damage lane.
They tried to play frickin' Aurelia, man, and it was atrocious. And they've tried Yasuo, they've tried Yone, they've tried Zed, they tried all this stuff. And none of it works, and if they can't make it work, then clearly no one can.
This is one of my favorite things now, is just, you know, rage-baiting Jatt to start talking about random tangents.
Well, it's the meta. Like, why are we always seeing these Sundered Sky, Black Cleaver, GA junglers? It's in part because they're strong, but it's also because you can only play mages mid lane.
Yeah, pretty much. But I will say, when you talk about these pairings and you look at the Caitlyn, I've seen Caitlyn with Neeko and Bard. I haven't seen her with a lot of other stuff, so I'm wondering what LYON's actually going to go for. Because Dig already picked the Neeko, they banned the Bard out, they banned the Nautilus, and now they're going to lock in Ambessa. I'm assuming that's top lane with the Poppy jungle, but theoretically they could swap that around if they want to. So yeah, what's the support going to be for Isles here?
Well, Bard is banned for the Caitlyn.
Again, like Bard and Neeko are all I've seen.
I mean, this would be a classic pair, the Caitlyn Lux. All these bot lanes have, like, they come in pairs now.
Yeah.
If you don't have a known pair, you're doing something wrong.
It's like duos in Pokemon BGC. You know, you always have to have a pair together.
How did I not think of that?
Yeah.
Clearly,
what's the Yu-Gi-Oh analogy
of this as well?
The Yu-Gi-Oh analogy. There's not a lot of duo in Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess.
Perfect. We can move on.
It's like the Sprite deck. You know, it's level 2 monsters. You pair them together. I'm grasping for straws right now.
Yeah. Okay, so Caitlyn Lux really lane dominant. I think it's going to be difficult for Ezreal Neeko to play against that. But at the same time, if you fall behind on that lane, The Ezreal can still land a decent amount of poke because the Mystic Shot is such long range. And I'm very curious to see the Anivia Poppy and how well eXyu and Palafox can create picks with this.
Production's just telling me that the actual answer was Time Wizard and Baby Dragon. Do you know what that means, Jatt? Is this before your time?
Is this for Yu-Gi-Oh?
Well, I'm not going to tell you because I'm asking if you know what that reference is.
No,
Time Wizard and Baby Dragon. What do you think that reference is? As we're getting in for LYON versus Dignitas, game number 2. Again, Dignitas making things interesting today. Starting off with a win in game number 1. LYON with their backs against the wall. Do not want to go 0-2 to start their spring split. And against Dignitas, I think that would be a shocker for a lot of us. Are you Googling Time Wizard Baby Dragon?
No, I'm trying to get into our chat because I feel like someone would have answered, and then I can 100%. Pretend that I knew the whole time.
I guarantee you chat is more hip than you, Jatt.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think that's a hip reference at this point. That is definitely an old man reference. So
I mean, chat could be behind. They're saying it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
It is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yes.
Good.
Also, Big G, our producer's telling me it's a hip replacement reference, not a hip reference. So just want to shout out producers when they're funny. All right, game number 2 here, Jatt. I want to set some expectations early on because we talk about Caitlyn Lux. When I see this lane, I think it's going to have a lot of prio, but you were also highlighting that, like, Ezreal can kind of match the range, and Neeko also is pretty strong. So do we think that this is going to favor either side, or is bot lane not going to be the focus?
No, I mean, I honestly think you can see FBI Mystic Shotting that first wave, and also Neeko just has so much additional wave clear. I think the Ezreal Neeko can probably get push here.
Okay.
You can see Caitlyn just trying to use the Q on the waves early, so I don't necessarily think this is a dominant Caitlyn lane. If you do start landing some roots, you can obviously chain it with traps and get some big chunks, but I don't necessarily feel like the outpush, but it's going to be a fist fight to try and get level 2 first.
Yeah, the early barrier to try and get that push. It's only damage rate onto Isles. Berserker's actually full health here, so I think in general you're always happy if the enemy AD carry is trading their health bar for your support, because if Isles needs to go for reset, not that big of a deal.
Yeah, FBI traded his barrier for that first push though, so he's going to be down a barrier if they are able to land a root on him. But yeah, they hit level 2 at exactly the same time, so that's part of the Ezreal, just trying to get his passive up, and then if he starts fighting, he'd also have the lethal tempo, and you win a lot of early trades as Ezreal, just with the raw attack speed you can generate on the kit.
But Dhokla's getting pushed topside for LYON. Mid's about a standstill here. You kind of expect that with Ryze versus Anivia in the early levels. So Dhokla really the one on LYON's side getting that early push advantage, as both junglers are pathing bots. We see that Inspired's able to get down a little faster as the Vi. eXyu's now going to be close towards his Raptors.
Yes, sir. We'll see if they end up fistfighting over the bot crab as well, since they are both on a collision course to find each other. Vi's going to clear a little bit faster than the Poppy, though, so bot lane's going to have to be cognizant of that, since we didn't see any jungle shenanigans early. And FBI Ignar, their jungler's going to be really far behind, actually. So eXyu didn't go red Krugs. He's going to be even slower, which tells me he's actually not even going to do bot crab. So this path is just slightly better if you're planning on going top crab, because it means all of your small camps are going to respawn in sequence, so his Krugs will come up a little bit faster. He'll still hit level 4 off of this full clear, and then would just be like kind of late to top grab, but as you can see, he'd probably lose. There's no way he gets this bot crab with the way the bot lane is right now, so he's going to either run up and get this crab, or maybe just forego the crab. But most likely, walk all the way up, kill the crab, and then reset for a second full.
But it shows intention, which I do like to see from junglers, is as he's already pathing up there. Inspired will Vault Breaker over the wall, and now see, yep, these jungle camps are taken. Drop a ward down, go for a reset. Root lands here onto Ignar. Chain CC Berserker with first blood.
Ooh, Ignar's going to want that one back, because now Berserker's going to have a faster first buy, but that is the combo. Ignar was just trying to hold the wave for FBI, trying to not lose the small margin, save a few CS, ends up giving away a big pot of gold to Berserker.
It's always scary to do that against the Lux lane, as we see the replay
Try
here.
to interrupt the recall as well.
It's just the light binding.
That was the thing.
Tough angle to hit that light binding, so well played by Isles, who I think has actually been having a fantastic year so far. Isles, I mean, you look at first stand, you look at the start here of 2026, as Ignar lets out a big sigh right there.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It would have been really good, though, if you're able to interrupt that recall. They would have gained tempo from that. Then Ignar could have looked to roam, because part of what he wants to do in this game on the Neeko is impact other lanes, use his clone for vision, do all the BS Neeko things that you're allowed to do. But giving that over to Berserker, and now Berserker having early Berserker Greaves is pretty big.
Oh, thematic. as he's able to pick up the namesake boots early on. Palafox, yeah,
true. Signature.
You didn't even try that, did you?
No. Do you remember the Sven signature Berserker story?
No.
He'd always build exactly the same 2 items on Lucian, like RFC second in every single game.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever Sven said you should build something else, Berserker would say, I can't, this is my signature. Like, these are my signature items.
Yeah, it's good to have a brand, everybody.
Yeah.
Got to build up the players in that way. As bot side there again, trades going in the way of LYON. Mid lane, Saint pushes out Palafox, who doesn't have the TP. So Palafox actually wants to stick around, hit level 6, and try and take this cannon at the very least. He's so close to 6. Once you hit it, you just kind of drop it down on the wave. There it is. Now he's trying to punish Saint, who's hovering right on the edge.
I want Saint to get 6.
I mean, Saint has the flash, so like if he finds the angle to get in and just pop Palafox, maybe he kills him, but Palafox will back off.
It's the art of using your egg for tempo. Like, if he can egg himself in the turret as they're trying to contest this Drake a little bit, there's no way they get through the Lux.
Yeah, another light binding there onto eXyu to deny the approach, and the Caitlyn traps as well.
Yeah, and this bot lane now does seem to be in the control of LYON with Berserker and Isles, and I do want to shout out Isles a little bit. He's been playing well, I'd say, even since first stand. Just last week, his Neeko, even though it's been denied in this game, found some insane teamfight engages. So Isles has been making some really big plays for LYON, and we'll see if he can continue to do it, even though he hasn't had flashy characters so far, right? He's played Lulu into Lux, but already is the reason they were able to create that first blood in this game.
Well, I'd say Lux, in lore accurate-wise, pretty flashy. At least pretty bright here. Another trade from...
Yes, good job.
More health bar trades here between Palafox and Saint. Now eXyu's coming in. Haven't highlighted it yet, but the potential actually, I'll get back to that. Dhokla in a 1v1 here, going on the Photon public execution to try and get away. Dhokla does not land that final shock blast, and Photon's fine. But the potential of the Anivia wall plus the Poppy, you gotta keep your eyes on that, because that always could be just an instant kill for Dignitas if they pull it off.
Definitely can be. I don't know if they have enough damage yet, but once you get like a Sundered Sky, definitely able to pull that off. Want to watch how that lane continues to go. The top lane with Grasp Jayce, we haven't been able to talk about that much. This is what we saw Morgan go as well. Going to be stronger in lane. Doesn't scale as well, but the way Morgan scaled well with it is he then got a 5,000 gold lead. So it didn't matter that he didn't have Conqueror.
It kind of equals out, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Dhokla's going to try and do something similar.
Oh, nice little single barb onto Isles, but no follow-up from FBI. So Isles is able to get away just fine. Now ace in the hole. Hey, nice. I don't know if that was good guy support or scumbag FBI, actually, as he's on the arcane shift to do it. Yeah.
You know, they're in for a little bit of pain currently with Berserker. Having his upgraded boots already makes it a lot easier to sidestep anything that Dignitas try and poke back with. Not to mention, it's just like whoever can hit the wave first is having a good time in this matchup. So good vision control, good shove, and they'll likely just go for another base right now.
And they will go for that reset as you're talking about it here. No one going for the early coal, so it's only that tier that's stacking up for FBI for the pretty slow bot lane. Now, that first blood did come through in the 2v1 down there, but outside of that, it's kind of reminiscent of the last game where it's come down to just a lot of, you know, slow scaling, play for the lane push, and then play for your better resets here.
Yeah.
And also, the junglers aren't even going for that many invades, as Inspired will go for these grubs. They got that early dragon, and now they're looking at the second neutral.
In this game, though, LYON is just having lanes go a lot better than in the last game. Because I'd say last game they were a little bit on the back foot in the jungle, but then also from the draft, Damonte was pointing out how he felt like Dignitas had the winning lanes kind of across the board. And even though Anivia is a bit of a team fight counter to Ryze, I don't necessarily feel like it can punish Ryze too hard in the early laning phase. Jayce as well is going to bully pretty much everything. And then the bot lane, self-explanatory, already being able to get the kill. So lanes across the board are winning, and that just allows Inspired to take whatever camps he wants and continue to full clear.
Yeah, that second neutral objective is secured, and he is not falling behind eXyu twice in a row. That definitely was a big point of Dignitas' strength last time, is the fact that eXyu had stepped up big in the matchup. As now Saint and Inspired are going to go for a dive under top turret onto Photon. No TP to back him up. It is just a kill to Dhokla.
Palafox started that TP, but it was very slow TP.
Yeah.
I saw the TP before I saw the Realm Warp. I'm like, oh, Palafox sees the play. He's ahead of it.
I guess he just didn't TP to the turret, though. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And it was slow,
Yeah.
I think.
Until you get that upgrade.
He gets the wave.
Okay. Oh, eXyu not going to be able to stop that reset. So Saint does get back. And now it's going from bad to worse for Photon topside because Dhokla is the one that got the kill, Jatt. He already had the CS advantage. He had multiple plates that he just got on his own. Now there are 2 plates left, plus he gets the kill gold. So Dhokla's got a poised to take over. The flash Pop Blossom from Ignar. Follow up with the Tingle Barbs onto Berserker, but FBI just can't quite get the damage in. Flash from Isles sets up Berserker for the takedown. 3-0 kill score as Lions bot lane do it again.
Isles Berserker with the Caitlyn Lux, the flashy binding from Isles into just an ultimate straight to the face. You would hope that it actually does more damage if you're that close.
That was a flashy play there, Jatt.
Yeah. You would hope that the Lux ultimate, they've changed the name to Final Spark, would do extra damage this up close. It doesn't, but it's still enough for the kill. Gives it over to Berserker. And this is after they've been playing around Dhokla, so best of both worlds. Another big sigh from Ignar. Yeah. Best of both worlds on the side of LYON, where they're able to help the Jayce for the kill, and bot lane is organically getting 2 kills of their own.
11-2 all-time record for Isles on Lux. That's a fantastic find from our stats right there. Shout out Leo. I'm just going to give credit to Leo. I'm assuming it's him that's pulling that one up for us. And he's showing us why. I mean, this is now back-to-back. That was Ignar starting the play. FBI just wasn't quite able to get the damage off. Like, ideally, you want that Arcane Shift plus the Essence Flux, plus the Auto, and then the Q to come in. But he just like didn't chain it correctly with the flash from the Poppy, or the Neeko rather.
Yeah, definitely not. Also, Mastercard Power Spike items, Sundered Sky completed for Inspired, just as the second Drake is up, so they can continue to push this bottom lane with the Caitlyn Lux. And if anyone wants to help out, Inspired's going to kill you.
Also, if FBI's alone, he's probably going to die. He doesn't have the flash
available.
Watch
the counter gank, though. Nice play by eXyu.
Topside, Dhokla's the target for Dignitas. He flashes towards his turret, but Photon's looking for the damage. eXyu finds a headbutt. Photon with the shutdown.
Honestly, that can't get much better for Dig considering the circumstances. A lot of credit will go to that ward you see in the Drake pit to really guarantee that Inspired is there. Dhokla needed to be playing weak side right there, but was feeling extra confident, ends up losing his flash, and then the kill also going over to Photon is going to help Photon get to that Eclipse where he's going to be able to stand and fight in that lane.
It's still a 300 gold lead for Dhokla, but Photon will go for the reset, and let's see if he's got it yet. There it is, Eclipse already picked up, plus even some components on top of it, so some more health. He's got the boots. Photon is ready to actually survive this lane a little better here. As, again, it was still the second dragon picked up for LYON, so they are stacking these up. I think they're in a fine spot, but this is signs of life for Dignitas in the game that was getting kind of out of control for them.
For sure. LYON is well on their way to a game 3. Dignitas also well on their way to a game 3. So I didn't need to correct myself. It would have worked either way. Yeah, it would have worked either way.
Yeah.
Gotta trust your
instincts. Yeah, there you go.
Or gut instincts both work.
They're the same thing, really, right? Kind of like saying Dignitas and LYON are both on the way to game 3.
A lot of replaceable words. Replace Palafox and Saint, similar. Mid laners, they both play the mid lane.
True.
Yep.
Indistinguishable, essentially. As Ignar's going for a roam up to the top side, will spot Inspired, and that means Inspired knows, there's a ward there. Not going to go for the dive, but Photon could have been in some danger. Now we'll catch that wave, and there's one plate left on that top turret. Flash from Saint straight in to the mid lane. It's on FBI, and he's locked down. Berserker on a killing spree, 3-0 on the Caitlyn.
I mean, Berserker's getting the kills, but Isles is styling on this Lux.
Yeah.
Setting everything up, so Berserker just traps and shoots. Hex Optics completed. He's going to be very difficult to reach in these team fights.
Yeah, I want to get another look at the replay of that one, because Isles using the Shurelya's, Saint flashing forward to guarantee the initial route. Let's see that one. Yeah, FBI just thinks he's safe as the Ezreal.
Yeah, Saint Isles. Let's see, maybe this was all Saint, because he gets the route.
It's followed up by Isles. Yeah.
I mean, he delayed it really well.
Yeah.
You could have early chained, and maybe he's able to get out of there, but just another unlucky death for the Dig bot lane.
Yeah, sometimes as Ezreal, I feel like players just get a little too confident, as actually Palafox stopping the back of Saint right there, has eXyu nearby, but Saint should be just fine. But yeah, as Ezreal, you just have so much, ability to kite away and get out of bad spots that sometimes you just don't realize that you're in danger. eXyu didn't quite find the angle on the wall, and now he could be in danger as Inspired and Isles both coming down. Sharks in the water as LYON are looking for it. Nice little frostbite there onto Inspired, and now the Keeper's Verdict, and that just means that they turned the attention onto Saint, who thought his jungler would have his back. eXyu with the outplay, knocking Inspired away.
There we go, Palafox and eXyu. So first off, Palafox landing his Anivia Q right as Inspired started charging the Vault Breaker to prevent the hard engaged chain. And then as soon as eXyu headshot Inspired with the Poppy ultimate, they turn on to Saint. Really well played retreat there by the Poppy and Anivia. So to see it one more time, they look dead to rights here, especially with Lux on the way. But that stops the Inspired engage, and then Saint says clearly he really wants to go in. And then right here, Saint's like, oh, I've gone too far.
Yep.
It is far too late.
Walking out of that brush was a bad call, I'll say. As eXyu is able to find the angle and able to find a kill for the team. Dignitas still behind in gold, but they're finding these little moments, whether it's on the top half, whether it's on the bot half there. They're not just giving up and letting LYON play the LYON game, which is just, you know, keep pushing these waves and keep finding these advantages. They are pushing LYON to actually making some misplays here.
Yep.
And Dignitas are benefiting from it.
Still a very winnable game for Dignitas, but at the same time, there is a Caitlyn on our screen with a 1,500 gold lead. So Berserker's going to continue to scale pretty well in this one. No super tanks that he's going to need to cut through either.
What was that last week's stat of like the biggest ever? Okay, we'll get back to that. Pop Blossom here on the top side, plus the public execution setting it up to knock down Dhokla. Has to get flash out of Photon, and it's Ignore with the kill, but Dignitas find their man.
Yeah, Berserker killed the turret, but the more they can start hunting down Dhokla, the harder it is to play this game. So now that Photon is completely even in this lane that had been going pretty poorly, it's going to give them something to play through. So Ambessa can absolutely threaten the Jayce now. Anivia can keep matching the Ryze, and if Poppy arrives, they'll win that 2v2. So Dignitas definitely has ways to stall this game now that Photon has been able to pull himself back in this game.
He's going to get full turret.
Yeah.
You have to imagine if he sticks around, nobody from LYON are coming to stop this. Photon doesn't get the kill, but he does get a lot of gold still injected into him now with a 350 gold lead for himself. So big comeback as LYON will start up their third dragon. This puts them on soul point and does not look like Dignitas will contest. So while that's happening, a reminder for everybody, it was announced earlier today. Check out our socials. Check that out on your screen right there. Spring finals. Jatt, we got a live finals again.
The Mullet Arena.
The Mullet Arena. June 13th and 14th. Set your calendars, everybody. Set your clocks. Write it on your calendars. Mark it.
Yeah. Set the reminder
to put it on your calendar.
Google Calendar app.
Do you think anybody still these days has like a paper calendar that like writes with a pen? Do you?
I think more likely you have that thing on your fridge that you use a Sharpie on.
I think more likely right now Saint is going to die again. He walked up and Dignitas had the trap laid and they spring it for another kill. Saint's going to have to write down something as a reminder to not, you know, walk up when he doesn't see the enemy Poppy. I think he's got a target on his back right now.
Mark your calendar. Dig's going to keep finding picks. Just every time. My goodness, look at that. So they've shut down Dhokla twice now. They've shut down Saint twice now. The objectives have been completely given over, so still a winning position for LYON in this game, but Dig is making it very hard for them to be able to win this. And remember, Dig did win the game one unexpectedly, so a couple more things go well for Dig, and they could walk away with the surprise series win, and that would make LYON 0-2 on the year.
Not
I know
the
I just made
start.
A lot of assumptions. Yeah. Because LYON is actually winning this game.
It feels like you're trying to reverse cast a curse right now, Jed.
I mean, we just need to call out the fact that Dignitas is playing so much better than they did in week one, but then also you have to call into question the flaws of this LYON roster, because in so much of lock-in, they looked a little questionable. They fell to the lower bracket and then weren't predicted by that many people to win. They pulled everything together in the playoffs. But then showed some of the same weaknesses at first stand and then in week one. So they're still clearly scaling as a team, which we can't forget. We're still very early on into the year. April 11th for these teams that are trying to build up towards the World Championship eventually. But you're seeing the issues that lie, and they're by no means a finished product.
I mean, you can say that, but when you do the math, we're at essentially the weekend that usually spring finals would have been. Spring finals would have been like last weekend or this weekend. So you can still make the argument, even in the two-split format of ages past, this is basically the halfway point for the team. As now Dignitas will drop the Herald here and go for a charge in. Berserker's going to clear out a lot of that wave, and the turret will stand, so no actual break for Dignitas.
Yeah, we're not the halfway point. You're making me doing finger math. So January, February, March.
April.
Now we're partway through April. That's 3 months and a couple weeks.
LCS finals in Raleigh was on Easter weekend.
Yeah, but we're going to have summer finals later. Like we're like 3/8, 3/9
I'm saying in like
through the
old
year, 3/10.
times. Okay. Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
old times. If we had played more games, we'd be halfway through. But we haven't played that many games.
Yeah, Dignitas especially have not played that many games.
Like
LYON
10 games.
have probably played like twice as many as them
way
in that
more.
first split.
LYON
Way more,
actually
yeah.
played. LYON actually played more games in lock-in than Gen G played in LCK Cup.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That is kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, that's why Gen G lost. They didn't play enough games.
I mean, it's kind of a meme, but also there is like some real truth to that just having more stage games and more experience will set up the team for more success. But that only reinforces how impressive this is from Dignitas, because they haven't had as many stage games, and they are making LYON work for it. Game 1 was a win, and it looked like a clean win. Game 2 here, LYON are on Dragon Soul Point in a minute and a half time. That is where the game could just be decided.
They
still have a lead.
Thing.
But will Dignitas find some way to wrestle that back?
Ah, geez, it's gonna be difficult. They really need to get probably bot lane pushed. I'd like to see Dignitas kind of overload the bot lane and kill that outer turret that just has one plating left, because if they're trying to enter, let's say through mid lane, and LYON is first to the spot, I can easily see Berserker just laying 5 Caitlyn traps down in the river, and then Dig doesn't have a good way to enter. But if they are able to kill that turret and gain access to the blue side jungle of LYON, they can't get cut off as easily by Caitlyn traps and might actually have a fight. Because if they're just trying to walk straight in to like Jayce, Caitlyn, Lux, I don't think they're going to be able to contest this. But if they find a flank, they'll obviously have a chance.
I'll always favor red side at these big dragon setups, though, just because they have the easier approach to the banana brush. If they get a control ward down there, so easy to control the river vision at that point. So Dignitas are going to have to find some way in. Poppy Ultimate's a great tool for moments like this, because if you can just like knock away Inspired, or even somebody like Saint, and just be like, okay, half their damage is gone.
Yeah.
Then that can immediately turn a fight in your favor, but it's going to take some creativity and some execution on Dignitas' side, because LYON have the control. 15 seconds, they got their wards down, and they're making sure that Dignitas do not have an easy approach in.
I mean, it's looking hard. They're trying to overload mid just to get a little bit of mid push, but they're going to try and walk in with no vision and no flank at the moment.
Yeah. Saint used the Realm Warp to try and link up with the rest of the team, as now Dignitas have brute forced away and using the Neeko clone. There's the traps you're talking about.
Yep.
Berserker's just trying to deny the approach for Dignitas, as Saint has kind of an annoying flank angle right now that Dig have to watch out for. Dragon is getting peppered down, as Dignitas, eXyu's gonna have to walk up and tank the first trap right there. Dodges the light binding.
Oh, it's bad.
And another trap just gets placed. Photon doesn't have the flank threatened yet, as the Dragon's on half health. We're gonna have to look for something here. Keeper's Verdict will swing and miss. Ignar not able to find the Palafox either, but they do get the Dragon steal, as eXyu now lands the engage onto Inspired. Flash over the wall, as LYON, they still have the traps down, but they're actually the ones getting hunted, as Dig walk up. Saint with the Ghost Pop is trying to get some damage down for the team. As Dignitas are out of there, they get the Dragon, they get out.
Oh, just like they drew it up.
Yeah.
We're going to go face first through Caitlyn, and then our Neeko's going to steal it.
Yeah.
I believe
All according to
Inspired
plan.
smote at like 1,500, and the Neeko ult stole it, unless he smote a champion. He did this last week on Baron. So let's see what happened with Inspired smite, because eXyu actually can't get in. So Inspired smites at 1,540. He was trying to Q smite it, but he missed his Q. Ooh, Inspired, my man.
Ooh. Well, you also, I think he's trying to Q away from the Pop Blossom to not get hit by that.
Maybe it was
But
like a wall that moved him.
You give your life also for that Dragon Soul, like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that again. I want to make sure I'm not giving Inspired unnecessary flame. Because maybe the Anivia wall knocked him out.
We're taking a look at it. No, yeah.
No. Maybe he wasn't even trying to Q it.
I think he was trying to Q away from the Pop Blossom. That's what it
just to
looked
get
like
in
me.
range.
And yeah, it was close. But even eXyu was like close enough to threaten
Unless
the
you
smite
see the
steal.
health bar. I got it.
Yeah, maybe we can ask him later if we get a chance to interview Inspired or anybody on the side of LYON. Either way, Dignitas have stalled the game. That's the takeaway here. LYON still have control. They still got the 2.5K gold lead, but the later the game goes, the less that is going to matter. It's not like a game-winning gold lead by any stretch. And a lot of it is just on one member, Berserker. 3-item Caitlyn is very scary, but like if you're able to lock her down, public execution, Pop Blossom, Berserker dead just means that now Dignitas, that gold lead is essentially gone.
For sure. I mean, not very inspiring to me the way they found their way into that dragon pit. You can see how difficult it is to walk through. I would like to once again say they should try and play through bot lane, but that's a discussion for the review, clearly. Because in game, Dignitas has decided mid is the best. So I believe we're going to continue to go through mid.
We'll talk to assistant coach Emmy about that, as we've got some coach react cams from him so far about how they were able to go in there. Because even eXyu wasn't able to land his keeper's verdict onto anybody. So Dig just kind of found a miracle, and it will delay this game longer. 2.5 minutes for the next Dragon Soul attempt for LYON. But the longer this game goes for Dig, the more items they get on Anivia. The more, tanky eXyu's going to get. He now has 2 items completed. And also the harder it can be for Dhokla in the side lane against Ambessa, who, if she finds that right angle, can try and 100-0 you.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be able to get some standing gold onto the Ambessa in the bottom lane as well. I think they're just trying to catch up in items a little bit. And there's no way they can really brute force their way onto Caitlyn Lux, who have perma mid-prio this game. And really not good ways of burning flashes either on the side of Dignitas. I think they're just hoping for small miracles in this game, which is not a bad strategy. When you're slightly behind, rather than full sending it and just running it down, just making the game as hard as possible and waiting for the objective fights when the other team needs to make something happen can be a window back into this game. One good wall stun in a fight onto, as you mentioned, Saint, Dhokla, or Berserker can lead to a pretty good fight.
I feel like Berserker is the big hit. If they're able to take down this Caitlyn, you look at the gold, it's 3.1k. You look at Berserker, it's 2.1k. So killing that Caitlyn means that essentially that gold lead is gone. And also you get a big shutdown for it. Now, is it going to be easy? I don't think so. Caitlyn's got some big range, especially with the rapid fire cannon completed. So work's cut out for Dignitas. LYON, I mean, it's interesting to see the highs and lows of this team, just like big picture-wise. Because you talked about their journey last split. They weren't really favorites going into that finals. A lot of people had C9 3-0, but LYON were able to get it done. Yeah. And now I think we're seeing them regress a little bit back towards their regular season of Split 1 performance.
A little. They still find ways. Like, I feel like they played a really good game here. And if not for a missed smite that gets stolen by a normal ability, they have Soul, and they're probably threatening Baron and moving on to a game 3. So their macro, there was an interview from ThinkHard, I believe, on NAMN, where ThinkHard was saying, no, LYON just have some of the best macro in the world, he said. And I think there were instances where that is true. Even in First Stand, when they were losing, they found really creative ways in to contest Dragon Soul or to contest Elder. And they find ways to have punchers' chances in games that they're even losing, but what they're not amazing at is blowing people out. Yeah. They're not amazing at, let's just watch Saint, Berserker, and Dhokla solo kill people all game. That just doesn't happen with LYON. So or even have to win games in slow ways.
Pushing a big lead either. As, next Dragon's coming up at 5 seconds. Inspired almost got walled out right there. Is able to Vault Breaker away. And now we have another round of the Dragon Steal attempt. Dignitas this time approaching from the bottom side.
Yeah, and now Photon has access to the jungle, which I think is a better flank angle.
And Dignitas, they have all the traps from Caitlyn on the top half there, so yeah, they can just walk in. Ignar's threatening the flank as the Poppy, and that's flash out from Saint. Almost got picked off from Palafox, as now they turn on to Inspired. Vault Breaker away, half health on the Vi, but a huge chunk onto eXyu, as Dhokla is able to land the Shock Blast. So low health bars on both junglers means that it's kind of an awkward little dance here.
Really awkward. Inspired's able to pick up the fruits. I don't believe eXyu was as lucky.
Dhokla not landing that empowered Shock Blast. Ignar's able to sidestep as Palafox throwing out the ultimate just to get some vision down. Gets hit by the light binding, and everyone's sending it onto the Anivia. So Ignar just looks for the backline. eXyu as well. Flash away from Inspired. Palafox gets out of there, and nobody dies on either side.
All right, Inspired has about 1,000 health. eXyu's also the same.
Low health bars on both junglers means the 50-50 flip is going to get very exciting. Right now, LYON are still focusing it down. Saint's going for it. Berserker as well. eXyu looks for the steal, and he does not get it. Inspired lands that smite. Dragon Soul to LYON plus a pick. Or a kill onto eXyu. Palafox has to flash over the back of the Dragon Pit wall. That is LYON's Dragon Soul.
Yeah, so Dig was trying to be cute there. Everyone was low, so they tried to double base, double TP, and then win a fight. But it seems like LYON called them on their bluff, and while both the soul laners were in base, they just burst out the Drake, and even though eXyu could go for a steal, it was unlikely with the 5v1. Everyone balled up around the Draken as well, so harder to actually click the smite on the right thing, and with eXyu down, Soul, Baron, likely game to LYON.
Let's get another look at that, because this was such a weird setup from both sides. Like,
yeah, not a lot of engage tools on either side. And then Ignar saw this big play. I just don't ever see how you can get through the team to actually follow up on that. And then both teams just dump so much damage onto Drake. Looks like we're going to see, as they try and teleport back in, eXyu Hex Flash over the wall. So hard to get that smite.
Yeah.
Inspired gets it this time.
Nice attempt. As we see the player not quite able to find the angle he's looking for. Coach is reacting as well right there. Dignitas, it felt like they had something in them, but end of the day, they'll get this tier 2 turret. So get some gold for that, as the objective bounty has been claimed. But LYON, actually now, that was a negative Red Bull Baron power play for one moment there. They actually have not got a lot.
Objective bounty is big. Baron only gives about 1,500 gold itself, so you take an objective bounty turret, you're going to make LYON need to do something with this Baron. I think larger scale, though, just with Ezreal and Anivia being kind of poke heavy, and then the Ocean Soul, it's going to make it very difficult for Dig to win Wars of Attrition. But there's a chance this does go to Elder unless Dig tries to send it.
Yeah. LYON right now, they get their tier 2 turret in the mid lane. Another wall out onto Inspired, but they haven't quite found those super impactful ones. Plus, he always has the Q Vault Breaker to get away. But Dignitas have wave clear with the Anivia. They're going to try and utilize it here in the top side, as Berserker actually takes a big Mystic shot there before the shield from Lux comes out, as they're shoving in that mid lane. Siege continues. It's only a 600 gold lead so far from that Baron itself. 4.3k overall, plus a Dragon Soul. Still puts LYON in a fantastic spot here. Either to take the Elder Dragon if they can't get too much done with this Baron, or to just keep taking more Barons.
For sure. Very low death game overall. Neither team wanting to hard engage. And there haven't been any big swings in this game either, because it's been so controlled from LYON around this Caitlyn, who's just getting more and more items built up. Last Whisper completed. Lord Dom's likely on the way, and they're just really trying to slow play this Baron. So it was at 0 because of the objective bounty. In this last deploy, they've gotten 1,900 gold. So you can see they're actually pushing 3 lanes at once, and it's because Dignitas' engage is kind of so poor. Yeah. This is a way for them to maximize gold.
Also, we had identified it in pick and ban. It's kind of a 1-3-1 composition with the Jayce, the Ryze. They can handle those side lanes just fine on their own. Berserker and Isles in the mid lane, Inspired kind of bouncing between mid and top. So that's all the tier 2 turrets, sans that bot turret. But 5 overall for LYON, and they've expanded their gold lead to 6.1k. Elder's up in 2.5 minutes, so I imagine it will come down to one final Elder fight. And when you have the Dragon Soul, when you have this type of gold lead, theoretically, it should be a cakewalk for a team like LYON. They've had good setups around the Dragons so far. It's gotten a little wacky as Dignitas have found ways in, but still you have to favor LYON in this situation.
Yeah, always hard to get through the traps and the Lux and the Jayce poke, especially with the Ocean Soul. It's going to mean that Dig would want to play fast somehow. So maybe they just kind of send it if they can do some Poppy wall combo into eXyu, then ejecting a bunch of people. Maybe, so like, it's on Ignar to maybe find some type of miracle angle. I know I'm saying a lot of maybes because it's a very low chance that Dig wins this, even if they're extending the game.
It's one of these moments where this is how LYON plays, and we highlight this a lot because it's the identifier for the LYON style. It's just this slow control, bleed out your opponent, take all these neutral objectives, win through the resource game. And yeah, Berserker got like way ahead in the laning phase. He had a great time because Isles was fighting these light bindings back to back. But since then, it has slowed down greatly, and we've seen more of that OG LYON style.
Yeah, Mikhail's completed by Isles as well, so even if they land a really nice Poppy stun, Isles can Mikhail someone and they can probably flash away. So
I like the pivot. It's basically the same like Enchanter build on Isles. He does not go in the Neeko build where I was thinking, oh yeah, the Lux, like it's about the damage and the setup for the Caitlyn to kill. But it's like, no, he's instead opting for more of that Enchanter style to set up the team, and also will help him stay alive with Shirelia's move speed.
42 seconds. Look at the wards that they have set up on the bot lane though. So I think for the most part, Dig push out mid as much as they can, then maybe try and sneak around to the bot lane. Saint, if he can get deep push on the bot, that's going to be good for LYON, because if they can basically funnel everyone on Dig through the same zone, it's just going to make it even more difficult for Dignitas to approach, and it's one shot from Berserker.
Yeah, those headshots doing a lot of damage. Light binding as well, and Photon gets flashed out of Isles.
It's a good
Public
look.
execution is down, but Isles' reaction time was fast enough.
Yeah, that's the type of play they'd want to go for, though, because if they do a full 5v5, it's unlikely to happen. So I like them taking that shot, and just puts them in a bad position now.
And now Dignitas taking the same approach. They're going through the bottom side here as Ignar gets chunked out, has to go into the stasis, flashes away from the trap. And now the Poppy engage, not really going to be an option here for Dignitas. Elder Dragon is up, and it's been started by LYON. Dignitas, their support does not have time to go for reset. Another light binding over the wall into Palafox, plus the shock blast from Dhokla. Big damage from the poke. Inspired goes for the cease and desist onto Photon, trying to lock down the Ambessa, but he goes into the stasis now of the GA, resurrecting back up. And now the Realm Orb not going to be taken. LYON just pushing back Dig.
Yeah, this is the Ocean Soul War of Attrition, though.
Yeah.
Dig's health bars aren't going back up. LYON's are.
Photon going for another reset TP play in, but he's not going into the pit. He's instead going all the way into the bottom wave. Dhokla has a flank here, looking at eXyu. Knocks back Inspire, but no damage on the Dragon, so Berserker just autos him down. Picks up a double kill for his trouble. Another light binding lands onto FBI. Berserker flashes forward. Saint gets the kill. LYON are slaughtering Dignitas at the Elder Dragon. They'll get the objective, they'll get the ace, and LYON will take game number 2.
Dignitas made it difficult for LYON, but we're going to be going to that game 3. It's really all about the Caitlyn Lux this game. They ran the laning phase, they landed binding after binding in the team fights, and Dhokla is going to be winning the race to the Nexus.
He's the TP's in first, the rest of the team now joining him, but LYON take a victory lap at the Nexus. GG, they'll take game 2.
Nice little NRG callback by Dhokla as he kills the Nexus, going back to this game 3 against his former teammates. I mean, I know chat can vote on player of the game. I'm going to try just make them biased. I thought it was Isles. I thought he landed the right bindings. That's going to be my vote.
What do we think, Lounge? Are we thinking Isles?
Oh my God, mind melding. We did the exact same thing.
Wow.
We voting blocked Isles.
We would have voting blocked.